Welcome to the Cool Fireman Podcast, a virtual firehouse kitchen table with What's a Rolfie, Unky, Fireman 1231,
East Coast Kellys,
JDB Cubed, and Fireman Freddy. Let's get to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
children of all ages, D-Generation X proudly brings to you WWE Tag Team Champions of the World.
The Cool Fireman Podcast.
Jesse James, the badass Billy Gunn. No,
or
got lost.
Or the Cool Fireman Podcast, brought to you by Unky Seasoning and Burn Box.
Burn Box.
Burn Box. Is
Go
it
get
the
your-
Burn Box, or is it just straight Burn Box?
The
We call-
website is just Burn Box.
Okay, because I've been telling people you got to go get the Burn Box, so I need to be correct.
Yeah.
Okay,
Go get your Burn Box.
go get your Burn
Whoa.
Box.
That's really bright.
No, you look great.
That
You look
baby
great.
face. It's
Look
glad.
at
That's
it.
a little dusky here this evening. It's not baby fat. I got a little
You-
gray action right now.
Well, you got the mustache coming back.
Yeah, I go back to work tomorrow, so
What does that mean?
that means I got 2 days worth of growth in my face.
Oh, but you're going to keep the mustache?
Oh yeah. The mustache is coming back.
Okay. Well, what's your thought on that? How often does it come back? Is it just like is it like a feeling?
Yeah, it's just kind of when I feel like it. Yeah.
I guess.
Plus, we finally got my captain to grow his out, so I feel like I got to stick at that while he's got to.
I want to cut.
We had an incident. We had an incident where we ran some automatic aid, or I won't say automatic aid, had some mutual aid come in, and I kid you not, every one of the guys on the truck had a stash like Matt. Like every last one of them. I was like, "Good God! Like, how do you
Yes.
grow that?"
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
my last rookie, dude. Oh god, so good.
Dude, I wish that
Where are we
I
going
could
there?
come out, I could fly out, and I could work with you for 24 hours. I would do it for free. I mean, obviously, it's like way against the law, but I would do it. I would pay you to do it, actually.
Who are you talking to?
Either of you. We'd have so much
Oh,
fun.
okay.
Oh, my
Yeah, no doubt.
God.
No doubt. It's a good time. East Coast is definitely a good time.
Oh, please.
It is.
It's probably,
If you're watching this right now, drop a comment and let us know why East Coast is better than West Coast. And we're not worried about those people in the middle of the country because obviously they don't do nothing anyways. I said what I said. I'm just kidding. You can comment too.
that's
Let
the
us know
fly.
why. Let us know.
States.
Those are flyovers. Everybody loves it so much to go East Coast, West Coast. But seriously, tell us why it's better. Why you think your coast is better than the others.
I'll start. We're just cooler than you guys.
You wear the turtle shells. That's awesome. Hey, I've been there, done that. When I first joined, that's what we wore. So it was definitely a lot lighter on your head.
Oh, I was going
I'll
to
say
say
that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. You guys wear these heavy ass helmets. Y'all going to have neck problems. when
Gonna
you're
have?
tired.
Gonna have?
Yeah.
I already do.
Oh, Jesus. These things
Yeah.
are gnarly.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Tradition,
Between
baby.
that and turning like this to look at the computer.
Yes. Back
Well,
problems.
I love what you just said, Brian, about tradition. Because I think that I would switch to yours just because of that, just to keep the tradition alive of the helmets. But when we started with Taylor's tins and we made that tin, I was like, how the hell is that going to fit on my helmet? And it doesn't because
It can't.
Yeah,
No.
it doesn't.
no, I mean, I could make it. I could, put a couple holes and I could.
One to the East Coast right there. I just want you to know that's one mark. Boop. Okay. Self-admission. I appreciate that. Matt, that's the first step. East Coast is better than West Coast. That's good. That's good. See what we did there? Reverse psychology, Doug. Take note.
You're good. You're a lot better than I thought.
Investigations 101.
Boom.
Oh my God.
But that kind of,
If you extract a confession, my job here is done.
Hey, can we do something real quick?
Yeah.
Something that we haven't done in a long time, but we're going to bring it back for this episode because I just thought about it and you have to do it. We have to do it at the beginning of the episode. We're going to do a moment of silence.
I love
We
it.
haven't done one of those in a long time. And everybody that I talked to about our podcast, they always said, man, that's such a nice sentiment that you guys do that at the beginning of the podcast, you guys do a moment of silence for your brothers and sisters that you lost, in however much time, within the year, within the week, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So I think that you should.
And we lost one locally last week, and we're actually burying him today. He got buried today.
Wow. And how fitting
tomorrow.
And how fitting that we're also doing this just after the National Fallen Firefighters Service in Emmitsburg.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay. Let's give them
some time.
We take off our earphones, headphones, and we give a moment of silence. All right. Very well said.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for that. Thanks for that, boys. But I was thinking about it, and I missed it. And every time, we always say, what are we talking about tonight? And we get so enthralled in subjects, and then we start talking about culture and Jesus Christ. We don't think about anything else. So here's to Unky Seasonings. Here's to Tom with the burn box. And then there's our moment of silence. So today our topic is going to be a little bit of firehouse technology. Yeah. We could talk about this subject for a very long time, but this is going to be more of one of our shorter podcasts. We don't have a lot of time on our hands. And so hopefully we're going to keep this around 30 minutes, but firehouse technology. I'll start this conversation. Now, you guys probably didn't know this, and I'm probably you're going to take me down a notch in what you thought of me, but in 2019, I think, I don't remember what year it was, I was named Firefighter of the Year because of my role in the iPads and a bunch of the technology stuff that we're doing in our fire department. And I keep up on it. It's a lot of work. It's a full-time job that I do as a firefighter. We have areas of responsibility in a small department. All of us take on different, areas that from SCBAs to BK radios to our OES deployments and all kinds of stuff. So I've kind of taken on the technology role, and man, it's a full-time job. And we're about ready. There's one other guy and we're about ready to go to the fire chief and say, hey, we need to start talking about getting a full-time IT guy for our fire department, just for the fire department. So a very, very short background on how we work things in my department is our city has a city IT, and they have a couple of guys that are allocated for the police department. And then those guys allocate a few hours, not a few guys, but a few hours a week towards the fire department. And so we, as firefighters, we subsidize that, or is that the right word? We supplement that. Yes. We supplement that with, firefighters trying to, hold I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but we do the work, and it's iPads, it's apps, it's our electronic patient care reporting. There's so much technology going into our cardiac monitors. We just bought new Philips Tempest Pro cardiac monitors. Oh,
there's your thumbs up.
Whoa!
Anybody who's not watching on YouTube misses out for our hand gesture emojis.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you got to watch the video version. If you're on Spotify and you're not watching it, a lot of people don't know that you can watch video on Spotify, by the way. So if you're listening on Spotify right now, you can watch it. You just got to click the little thing on the button or the bottom, and you'll figure it out.
Yeah, on the button.
On the button.
But what I was saying was our cardiac monitors, we can now we can transfer. I don't know if you guys are doing this on your coast. You can transfer the 12 lead to
the hospital.
It's unbelievable. I mean, come on. That's crazy. Not that long ago were they, just talking on this phone that they'd pull out of a box. And now all of a sudden we've got this digital, beautiful file that we can drop right into our patient care report. And it looks phenomenal. It's this nice, tracing of a 12 lead, and it has the determination and all that kind of stuff on it. It's really cool. But it's more work. Johnny and Roy, man, all they did was fucking
call Rampart.
My French, but pick up the gosh darn phone and say, we need an IV. Give me an order. That's so much easier than write it fucking down. Now we got half of our freaking calls now is a guy with his iPad just stuck in his face.
How many beers have you had already?
Why?
It's 2 F-bombs in 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I've only had one.
You know, I
don't
give a shit.
I'm just charged up. I'm charged up.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. You're right. I mean, like we went from like the tough books to now we have iPads, and we just recently changed our PCR system. Our image trend just changed, and it was a learning curve for everybody. But yeah, the technology it's just like your cell phones, and I shouldn't say it's just like your cell phones for the layperson. Whatever, man. There's people still walking around with flip phones, but in our world, technology is pushing the envelope, you know, like, and I'm talking as far as SCBAs with heads up displays and like, it's not just the tablets and the MDCs. It's SCBA stuff. Like we just put a tick, air pack. We put a air pack. Shit. We replaced the air pack on the.
How many beers have you had?
3. And it has in the ICM, it has a integrated tick in it. I mean, but like, you're steady pushing the envelope in the fire service with technology to try to make things safer. And the heads up display is a big deal with that now. Right now, all we have is the little dots along the side that go from green to yellow to red to monitor your air level with the G1 air pack. But I mean, it's going beyond the iPads and the tablets, but you have to keep up.
We had the first gen Scott SCBA masks with the tick integration, and it had a little screen right in front of you.
A little square.
Right, a little square, which you could go up or down. You could use a little Allen wrench to fix it.
Move it.
Great technology, bad execution. Don't ever buy first gen stuff. Firefighters know better, and we knew better. We even said we should not be buying the first gen, and we did because they came out. They gave the dog and pony. We were all like, "Damn, this is cool shit." You know, like we went into the bathroom when like guys were laying on the ground in the bathroom. We'd walk in there, it was pitch dark. And we're like, "Dude, this is so rad," and it really was. I mean, but think of this, dude. You know, you're on a fire scene, you're a firefighter, or you're getting ready to go interior, and you're sitting there having to do this. You're having to push a button that's inside your mask. So before you put it on, you got the mask in front of you and you're pushing a button. Then you have to push a button on the camera and they have to sync. Now that happened pretty regularly, like 99% success. They did a great job with the integration between the two, but what they didn't do well was you just need one button, man. Come on. Like this is a fire scene, not, you know, we're not sitting in an office. Like we shouldn't have to be pushing the button that's inside there before we put our mask on. You know what I mean? So once they figure that out, it'll be a lot better. But I'm telling you, the technology was really cool.
On that same token, finish.
No. I was just going to say you have a whole mask and then you can look down and you have a tick. You don't even have to, you know, you have hands-free tick, if you will. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, great technology, just kind of poor execution, and I have a feeling it's just because of first gen. You know, they're going to get better and better and better.
Somebody's got to work the bugs out. Yeah,
and the other bug was you know, we don't run a ton of fires, but we check our gear out every day, and it would be about a week and a half, and the batteries would be dead. And so now you got 2 AAA batteries here in your chin for the screen, and then you had 2 in here. 2 or 3. So like we had like 4 or 5 batteries that we had to switch out every week, and they couldn't figure it out. Scott couldn't figure it out. We'd send them back, then they send it back, say it's fixed, and they said that, you know, it was drawing power for some reason. Anyways, it was great technology, but
I got a question. I've kept quiet as long as I could. In fact, anybody who knows Brian Kelly knows that's probably too long. But my question was, so what all is the benefit? It's a rhetorical, not really rhetorical. I'm using the wrong word there. But what do you guys see the benefit of all that? Everything from the heads up display, like you said, it's hand free. Like is as bad as it was. Are you still glad that you bought it? Let me start out with that. Are you still glad you have it?
We don't have it anymore.
Okay, you don't have
so no.
No, you don't like it.
I will say for the G1s, we went from talking about the batteries. We had 6C batteries in it, and we could only use Duracell Pro cells. Well, after we burnt through those, you're like, you know what? These come with, or they make a rechargeable for this. Why don't we do that? Because again, checking them every day, at least once a day, it's just eating through these C batteries. So we went to that, and then we have we turned our Bluetooth on them, every radio is synced to a certain air pack. And that is absolutely worth it, Brian, because it has made communication so much better because you know, you got your little box here that where the voice comes out of, and you get reverberation all the time because you were too close to somebody. And once we turned that Bluetooth on, man, it was like having a normal conversation with somebody if you execute it properly. It is awesome. So yes, you know, other than the weight of it, yeah, the technology in it, I love it. The Bluetooth is great.
Well, and same thing with iPads and stuff like you guys were talking about before. You know, I'm gonna go back and kind of circle back to something Matt said. You know, he's like, well, all they had to do was Johnny and them just had to write things down. I live in a world of redundancy where I'm worried about failure.
We all do.
Right? So what is the backup to when it doesn't work? That's my thing. Like, I'm all for it, right? And so do we still have the systems in place for, I mean, we recently went to paper inspection or paperless inspections. People have been doing paperless inspections for a long time. We were, like you said, Matt, with the heads-up display, we were not going to be first gen on that goat rodeo, right, because of what it was. So we wanted to integrate those kind of things. But whether you're sending it electronically for your EKGs and your 12 leads, same thing. What is the backup? Do fire departments have a backup plan in place? I know when we had our hurricanes here and we were running, I was in the EOC trying to listen to 15 calls at one time. We had no cell service. Technology was out the window. You know what you did? You went and fought fire and you worried about all the other stuff related to that later, right? You went and saved lives, put fire out, and that was that, right?
We still have paper amendments, and if we have to do it, we do that. And we just mail them into the EMS department through the, not mail them, but through the county mail. We have a truck that comes around and we can pick them up, not like the U.S. Postal Service.
So if you had to say one operational piece of technology that you love the most, what is it? Ops wise.
Battery powered tools.
MDCs.
No, this is my MDC if I need it. You know what I mean? This will get me there.
You guys
Dispatch
don't have
can
MDCs?
tell me what's going on. Yeah. Oh yeah. But again, we switched to a new program. It's been probably 3 years ago now, and there were some tricks with that, and sometimes we still lose mapping that involves a restart of the computer and like it's just small stuff. But when in doubt, Apple Maps will get me there. Dispatch can verbally tell me what's going on. For me, battery tool.
I don't care about the map, right? I mean, we've talked about this before. You got to know your first in. You got to know your district, right? You don't know every street. But again, I've had the firefighter, hey, look up this, we'll go into another district or another jurisdiction into Dana Point below us. That's not our jurisdiction. We'll do mutual aid. And I'll say, hey, put in this address because, it's not coming up. It's coming up weird on the MDC. What I'm more like is the notes that the dispatchers will write in there for the particular call.
Sure.
Right.
You know what I mean? And any kind of special.
We also have. Do you guys use G2?
Yeah, Phoenix G2. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have that, and it will show you. Let me cover up all the other information on this real carefully here. You can set your map settings to show hydrants.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have hydrants.
Right. Well, you don't have to have that on the G2 app. You can set it to not have that. But
gotcha.
If I just set mine to the Apple Maps because I just want to know the street. But as far as MDC goes.
But it's a toss up for me. I'm not cutting cars or doing any battery operated stuff anymore. I will tell you the bat fan, I was interim chief, and when they showed up with that bat fan, and I was like, wait, what? You don't have to worry about gummed up carburetors. You don't have to worry about old fuel. You don't have to, and I'm like, sold on that. And when I spec'd a truck, we made sure that the compartment for the tools would hold the largest hydraulics possible on the market because I knew that was going to be first gen and all they would do is go down after that. And so you were saving compartment space thereafter. But just like Doug said, that technology is huge. I mean, we're relying on a dispatcher to give us information and they tactically have no idea what we need. And I don't mean that to sound rude, but you're trying to strategize in your mind, keep radio traffic down and have 4 to 7 minutes to make a game plan together based off of a 10-second impression when you arrive on scene. Right? Is that a true statement?
Absolutely.
So I think that, the MDCs is crucial, but the integration of the apps is important. And I don't care if you're paid or volunteer. that is a feature that's available for everybody. I mean, if you're a volunteer listening to this and you want to know who's coming to the call, that app will allow you to check en route. You know, I don't know if y'all are aware of that. Like, that's the cool part about all of this stuff. So that's operations. So how about administratively, right? You talk, whether that's filling out a report, doing station duties, both of y'all running as officers. What bit of technology? I know the data piece. I'm going to speak to that as a chief officer here in just a second, but what bit of technology has made it easier for you? And if it hasn't, what could? If you could dream up anything.
SharePoint.
SharePoint, okay?
SharePoint. Everything is condensed now. It's so much easier for us on the operational level to do, hey, I need toilet paper, I need ink pens, whatever. I need this for my uniform, whatever.
Right.
Everything's centrally located and easy to find.
How about you, Matt?
I mean, what's made my life easier?
Yeah, technology-wise. Administratively.
I'm going to go back to MD. So that's more operational, but so you're thinking, I mean, so we use a thing called JotForms. It's a third-party app. Mm-hmm. You guys use JotForms?
I know what it is.
Okay, yeah. It makes things real easy. I mean, we use it for everything. We use it for our engine checkouts. We use it for our NARC logs in the mornings. That's made it easier. You know, it's not paper. We don't have to keep it. It's all digital. It's a file. It's not, you know, a piece of paper that you got to hold for 5 years because the DEA says so, because it's a NARC log, you know? So I would say that's probably the number one thing that's made our life easier. A guy can go onto the iPad, go to the proper job form and fill it out, and it'll send it to the appropriate person that's in charge of it. Because I told you at the beginning of the podcast, we all have areas of responsibility. So some guys have responsibilities for uniforms. So if all my pants got holes in them, I'm going to put in a job form for a uniform request, and it's going to go to the proper guy, and he's going to say, I approve. We have money in that budget. And then that sends an email back to me, says I'm good. And that comes with a little chit, and I bring that chit to the uniform center, and boom, I'm done. You know, whereas before it's like, hey, fill this thing out. You know, okay, get a battalion chief signature, and then it's in the snail mail for 3 weeks. You know, and so that's probably made my life easier.
That's what SharePoint does for us, basically.
Yeah, and I think that's
every department has their own individual link, and everything they do is under that link, and it's all electronic, and it's the BC you don't have to wait for the BC to come by the station and sign something, and then, like you said, snail mail it. It emails a copy to your company officer, to the BC. He or she signs it, and it just goes straight there. And within, you know, whenever the mail runs again, which my station's every Wednesday, so tomorrow, it comes in and you get your stuff.
You know, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I think that kind of everything that everybody just said kind of solidifies that point, whether it's SharePoint or whatever system. I mean, think something as simple as a policy update, whether you have 4 stations or you have 40 stations, just the redundancy of it's updated, it's signed, it's scanned, it's there, versus how many 5-inch binders have to be updated? How much time does that take? How much, you know, and it's just like, oh my gosh. And what the root of that, all that is, and what I'm trying to get at is technology is there to be innovative. When we sit down with my company and we talk to station captains as they go, we can't be firemen for all of the things that need to be done. And so what I tell people, I say, don't fight the technology, because that innovation allows you to get back to training. It allows you to get back to the other things. The data piece is the necessary evil to justify everything that you do and or cover you liability wise. So
that ties back into what I said earlier about, you know, there's guys still walking around with flip phones, but in our line of work, you cannot do that. You have got to keep up, or you are going to get left behind, and there's no place for you. I hate to say that. That sounds kind of brash, but it is what it is. Either you keep up, you get on the train, or you get left at the station. It's that simple.
Yeah. And I think it kind of goes back to what we were saying just a few minutes ago about like mobile truck checks. You know, it used to be when you had the paperclip on the wall, you could pencil whip the heck out of a truck check. And
still do that.
Okay, I'm just saying.
We still account for, as of today, we still account for fuel every gallon on paper. We just got fobs in the mail that, and within the next month, hopefully, we're going finally to tracking fuel with a fob, but we still write down calls on logbook. Why? I don't know. There's an electronic record of it, but hey.
Well, and you know, there's something about nostalgia and pride and tradition with
that's
a paper
the tradition.
log.
Yeah,
no,
right.
I know exactly why they do it, Brian. It's because that's how they've always done it.
We've always done it that way.
Sure. I guess what I was trying to say
hate change.
But the disclaimer with that is, and I'm not saying this in a, you need to know that they got you, but when you fill out that electronic, everything is tracked electronically. So if you pencil whip it on a clipboard, those days are gone. Yes. And you did it in 40 seconds and never walked around the rig, but you go click through all the little truck check items in 40 seconds. Guess what? It tracks the time you started and the time you finished, and they're going to know that you pencil whipped it. So the data is important for a reason. And so all of that comes back full circle into, if firefighters want to be firefighters and spend time doing training and worry about being ready for the high risk, high frequency, or low frequency, high risk events that we're all talking about, right? The stuff that will keep us from going home. Embrace the change of technology, let it be to your benefit, and know that it's going to improve you overall for the sake of everybody, like for the whole benefit.
Back to the MDCs, pre-plans on the MDCs.
Yeah.
For the larger structures, the multifamilies, the business hotels, offices, whatever. Right. Yeah. Pre-plans.
I tell people when it comes
to target hazard.
Yeah. I know we talked about CRR being another topic. The only thing I'll add to that is I tell people all the time, that is your Super Bowl playbook, right? For those high target hazards. It's like, why would you halfway do it? You know what I mean? You don't know whether it's going to be you or A shift or B shift. And I know we give each other crap on other shifts, but in reality, that is your playbook. So if that call drops for them and you halfway did it, you're on the same team and you just screwed over your teammate because you halfway did it. And that's a joke. So,
yeah.
Hey, before we get off, say hi to my girl, Sydney.
Hi, Sydney.
Oh,
hey, Bear. There she is. Hey, Bear.
Hold on.
She's my farm dog.
Say hey to Bo.
Oh, Bobo.
Bubbo! He had to come say, hey, when you said Sydney, like, I don't know why, because you got headphones on and I got headphones. Like, they could have heard it.
She can't stand to be away from us, especially me.
You know what I can't stand?
Me.
No.
Oh.
The fact that we haven't picked our live date for American Red Cross. Speaking of
I know. Oh, my gosh.
But that's life. I get it. So just know for the listeners, and the reason why I brought that up was not to give you guilt, even though this is guilt, was to say, the donations are still live. People can still donate and know that money's going into a good cause. So the live event may or may not happen, and that's cool. Hey, you know what?
It's going to happen, and we're going to put it on Instagram. We got to put the link, the live link on Instagram. So. Yeah. So,
but we are donating, so I appreciate that. So
Matt,
that's my item.
I want to touch on this about my mustache, Matt. I'm not going to come down here. I'm just going to gunslinger it.
Wow. Nice.
Is that against policy?
No, we actually just changed our policy to allow it to come down a little farther. It used to be a half an inch from the corner. Now it's halfway between the corner of your mouth and your jaw.
So wish I could grow that. Like, I physically cannot grow one.
But I get this weird little patch right there and right there that doesn't fill in as thick. So I just prefer mine like this. I mean, eventually it'll cover, but anyway, it grows good up here.
No. Well, we could talk for hours and hours and hours on technology. I mean, from kestrels in the wildland aspect to ticks to in-mask ticks to e-tools and our apparatus and what they're doing. I mean, it's insane. It's crazy. And I think that you said it, Doug. It's keep an open mind, be progressive. You know, don't poo-poo something right off the bat. You gotta, and I think we talked about this last week, Brian, is you gotta keep an open mind and you gotta, try something before you poo-poo it, and you just gotta be willing to move forward and not get stuck in that.
You said something a minute ago. We hate change and we hate the way things are, but sometimes you have to embrace that and understand that it's going to make your job easier.
Yeah. Right.
Like, trust the process here that it's going to make your job easier. Sometimes.
Because, I've been sitting here listening to what you guys are saying. And the one thing that I hate the most is this electronic patient care reporting. And you've got your state reporting guidelines. You have national NFIRS that you have to respond to. And it's like, you can't even, that your department cannot put in for a grant if your NFIRS are not up to date. Did you know that?
Yeah.
But it doesn't surprise me.
They held you accountable for that. They put a handcuff on you. You get a federal grant for your department if your NFIRS aren't up to date, which is all your reporting systems from all your calls.
You shouldn't.
Right.
I mean,
shouldn't.
Yeah. But, so, but
That's a CRR talk. I got a whole half hour on that.
We have to have all of our paperwork done by the end of the shift.
I'm talking about medical aids. I'm talking about medical aids too.
It's a call. That is a call for the fire department. Yeah.
And they're just trying to make, EMS better across the nation. That's all they're trying to do. That's what because I'm in charge of pushing out new updates and electronic patient care reporting and all that stuff to our department. And it's just, I try to tell the guys like, well, we're just doing this because these bean counters want to count numbers. And I'm like, well, that is it. Yeah. But at the end of the day, there's people up there that they pay to try to make guidelines better and more efficient for us as paramedics and what we're doing in the field to help people. So what's working, what's not.
So the teaser to that is they can't engineer it better if they don't know the problem.
Right.
And those systems, whether they're on EMS or fire, and that's why I said this is a CRR podcast for a later date. But the reality of it is the 3 E's are emergency response, engineering, and enforcement. And so when you look at that, those are those things that have to come later, and it all starts with the boots on the ground. So again, my consulting company, I go out and I tell people, I said, if you're halfway doing your NFIRS incident report, don't keep getting upset when you go to the same types of calls over and over and over again and you don't understand why. It's probably because you didn't write down the model number, you didn't do an adequate job doing the narratives. The fact of the matter is everybody's reading those and they never call you because, again, if they did, think about how many fire calls are dropping and how many people are responding to incidents. It's just, it's conversation for another day.
Yeah. But good conversation in the short amount of time that we had for today.
Yep.
So if you're still with us, we appreciate you. We love you. This has been the Cool Fireman Podcast. So,
goodbye.
Good.
Roll it, Gigi.
Roll it, Gigi.
Now roll it, Gigi.
You sound like a parrot. All right, I gotta go.
All right, see you. Okay, love you. Bye.
All right, see you guys. Love you. Bye.
Later. Bye.
Roll it, Gigi.
Before you leave, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and give these firemen a huge thumbs up. Also, make sure you check out thecoolfireman.com for more. Thanks!